Welcome back, everybody, to the Gamecocks Dynasty. It has been some time. I was a little under the weather, and I just didn't feel up to recording at the time. You know, a cold, some allergies and stuff. But we are back, and we are taking on another SEC opponent. As you can see, this week we have the 6th in the Eastern Conference, or east side of the SEC Conference, the Vanderbilt Commodores. They are 1-5 in the conference play, 3-5 overall, so not a terrible season for the Commodores. But as you can see as well, we're coming off of a loss to Missouri. We're coming off of a loss that put us at 4-4. We are 2 games away from bowl contention with, 4 games left. So we have to win 2 of these games if we even want to make a bowl game, which after last season is not somewhere that I saw us going. If I'm being honest, I thought this was going to be a lot easier of a rebuild than it has been. And with the offense the way it has been this year, there are questions about my job. There are questions about whether or not me or the rest of my staff are going to be able to take this team farther than we did last year. And I plan to silence those critics, but as of right now, we've just got to strengthen out this season, toughen it out, and we've just got to move forward because this year has not been the way we expected it to, but we've still got 4 games left. Hopefully, we've still got a bowl game left, and we've still got definitely that rivalry game against the Tigers that I am very happy to play our second time in. But today, we've got to get past the Commodores before any of that matters. And Lavosa Carroll on the first kickoff of the day, he rumbles down the middle untouched for 40 yards. He is finally brought down as he stumbles forward at about 44 yards. 2nd and 9 is where we'll start with the offense, and Marshawn Lloyd will get his start. He's got 836 yards on the season. Couple of touchdowns there as well. He has been productive, and we will definitely miss that production at the running back position, but I'm excited to see what the other people can do. On 3rd and 5, Doty fires, and this one's Rucker on the curl route. That's an 11-yard pass. Now the Gamecocks offense, early in the game, we have struggled to get going, so we need to start making statements early. On 1st and 10, Doty's going to keep it on the read option. He breaks a couple tackles, rumbles out to the outside, to the left, to the 10, to the 5, and brought down in the end zone. But they're going to call him short. I mean, this is a grown man run. He breaks 2 tackles at once, stays on his feet, hits this stride at the 10, and then down at about the 1. I would have challenged it, but it's so early in the game. We were at the half-yard line anyways. We just picked it up on 1st and goal as Marshawn Lloyd went into the end zone. 6 yards, nothing going there for the Vanderbilt defense. They could not slow us down, but they do have a dangerous offense. Mike Wright has been fairly successful at times against this defense the few times we saw him last season. So they're going to start on a 1st and 10 as they go to Griffin up the left side. He's going to trip over people. Rocco Griffin. What a name. He's got 9 yards now, 2nd and 1. They're going to bring their tight end in motion. Expect a lot of that for this offense. And Griffin on 2nd and 1 powers his way past Debo Williams, and he's got a 1st down as well. Now 3rd and 11 for Wright and company. Wright's going to take the shotgun snap, fall out to his right, and he's sacked. Just like that. They're going to lose 7 on 3rd and 18. Now it's going to be 4th and 18 where they would punt it, and on 1st and 10 for Doty and company, he wants to fire across the middle, and man, he had about 3 guys that had space, and it went in between all of them, not even close to any of them really. 1st and 10 turns to 3rd and 10 as Doty, another one right into the dirt, and the Commodores didn't get anything going on their first drive, but they're going to have the ball back fairly quickly now on 3rd and 11. Wright can't let go of it. And another sack. This time it's the big man Hemingway. His first sack of the day and his first tackle for loss of the day as well. That's going to set up a 4th and 22 for the Commodores. As you see, if Hemingway didn't make that tackle, we had Terrell Dawkins and Alex Huntley ready to make it. And the Gamecocks offense gets back on the field as this defense stands strong. Marshawn Lloyd on 1st and 10. He gets about 6 yards before he's corralled down from behind by the defensive line. Now 3rd and 5. They're 1 of 2 on 3rd down so far. Got to be more efficient in that department. And Marshawn's going to take it on 3rd and 5. And he says, give me the 1st down and then some. He's got 13 yards on that one. Marshawn Lloyd has had a great start to the day. Unlike this passing game, Doty is trying to get it going. So on 1st and 10, he fires into coverage. Marlon Sewell on the first deflection. Could have had a pick 6. There was not a lot of people back there. Now 2nd and 10. Doty is going to settle for the handoff. That one's an inside zone to Marshawn. Now 3rd and 2. Doty takes the shotgun snap, fires across his body into coverage. Just a bad pass, and he dropped one earlier. Marlon Sewell's got one this time. He is, man, I mean, come on. That guy, Jaheim Bell, is wide open, and Luke Doty throws it straight to Marlon Sewell, the free safety. That's a touchdown if you make that pass. Doty just couldn't do it. 2nd and 13. He's going to give it to Brown, the fullback, and Robert Brown. He's got 2 yards maybe on that one. And they're going to open up the second quarter at a 3rd and 11. Play action, right. Fires the ball, and they're going to give him the first down. Justin Ball toe taps his toes, and he is going to get the first down. Now 1st and 10. Rocco Griffin on the ground. He's got a first down and then some. 16 yards for the Commodores. They're going to stack up on that right side. It's going to be a toss play to Griffin. He's got a lot of space outside to the 50, to the 40. Mo Kaba can't get him with the diving attempt, and Anthony Rose finally muscles him down after 30 yards into Gamecock territory as they will get a 1st and goal now in the red zone right under center. Goes to Griffin. He's brought down immediately, though. Nice team tackle there. I believe Alex Huntley was the first one in range for Rocco Griffin. Now 3rd and goal. Wright's going to go to the outside. Dropped. Oh, he had him. 3 of 5 passing. Should have been 4 of 5 and a touchdown for the Commodores. But instead their receiver, the slot receiver, Long, drops it. And they settle for a field goal as the Gamecocks get lucky now. 1st and 10. Great field position after a magnificent return. And Marshawn Lloyd's going to cut to the outside on the zone. He's got the first down. He's got more than that. Down at about the 12, maybe the 11 as they get a 1st and 10. Now keep it on the ground with Lloyd up the middle. He's going to get another 7 on that one. Tack it on 2nd and 3 now. 2nd and 3 now out of the shotgun. Read option. Give it to McDowell. Juju McDowell into the end zone untouched. I mean, the offensive line just parted the Red Seas there, and the Gamecocks get on the board again. 14-3 is your score right now with about 4 minutes left in this first half as Mike Wright wants to throw it this time. He's got Quincy Skinner, outside for 19 yards. Now 3rd and 10. We are counting down to the final 3 minutes of this first half. Mike Wright takes the snap. He fires to Kyle, the tight end, who's going to muscle his way down 15 yards. Logan Kyle has had a productive day blocking. This is the first time we've really seen him in the passing game. Now 2nd and 11, they're going to stick to the ground with Rocco Griffin as we get around the 2.5 minute mark. He had nothing going there. So 3rd and 10 for the Commodores. They're trying to get on the board before halftime comes up because they are going to need as much production as they can in that second half. And Mike Wright is going to fire Devin Bodie Jr. He is able to tap his toes on the sidelines. And the Commodores get the first down now, 1st and 10 later on that same drive. Wright's going to go deep to the outside to the left, and it's intercepted. Nick Imanowari jumps up for that one. I believe that's going to be Justin Ball into intended receiver. But Nick Imanowari just jumps up, and he snatches that one out of the air. And the Gamecocks defense makes another strong stand on 2nd and 6. Doty delivers to Rucker across the middle. He is spun down over another defender for 50 across the 50-yard line. That's about a 48-yard gain. Now Doty on 2nd and 7. He wants to fire to Sampson on the corner post route. He brings it inside, and it's 24 yards. Now 3rd and 14. Final 30 seconds. Doty out of the shotgun. Wants to go to the end zone. Fires again, and he's intercepted again. This one again was intended for Bell down the seam, and that is going to be Chase Lloyd with his first interception of the day. The Commodores 2nd as a team. And Doty in this offense, they leave, probably at least 6 points if you're counting field goals, but 14 points, best case scenario on the board with 2 turnovers, 2 interceptions in the red zone. As the Commodores, very lucky to be in this game still as we head into the second half on a 2nd and 2. Mike Wright's going to float this one across the middle. Shepard breaks a tackle. Another one. Oh, my goodness. He's into the open field at the 10-5. Touchdown, Will Shepard. He breaks one tackle, and you're like, okay, the next guy's going to bring him down. Then they get the block on the left side. Cam Smith misses the tackle after, Marcellus Dial gets his just his arm tackle broken. I mean, first play of the second half, or I guess second technically, and the Commodores bring it within 4 with about 7.5 still remaining in the second half, as they're going to fire to Jaheim Bell, trying to get him the ball today, but they have done a great job of covering him up in that zone and man coverage. Now 2nd and 2, Doty fires deep downfield, and Corey Rucker does bring it down as the Gamecocks, now they face, a 3rd and 31 on the drive, and Doty just, man, at play action had no chance, and that is going to be another Gamecock punt, as this offense, I mean, they continue to struggle, and you've got to wonder if Steve Spurrier Jr.'s job is on the line this offseason because of how poorly this offense has played. 6-yard loss there for Mike Wright on the run. Now the Commodores 4 of 7 on 3rd down, but they face a 3rd and 11. They have had a ton of these 3rd and longs, so it's surprising how efficient they've been. Mike Wright's going to fire to Shepard again this time. Thankfully, they bring him down after about 7 yards too many, and Will Shepard does not get the first down. So the Gamecocks, good field position on their next drive. 3rd and 6, Doty rolls out of the pocket. No one open, fires back across his body. Juice Wells got it, and what should have been a face mask turns into a no call. 1st and 10 now, though, for Doty. He wants to fire this one to Quentin Beck, who has been thrusted into the lineup for some plays after the injury to Brandon Robinson, and he's made plays when they need him to. Now 2nd and 1, Doty is going to give it to Lloyd on the zone, spun into the end zone, touchdown, South Carolina. Marshawn Lloyd with his 2nd of the day, the 3rd on the ground for the Gamecocks, as the running game, man, they continue to carry this offense today. The passing game really hasn't showed up much, but I think if they're going to want to win this, they're going to have to show up at some point. Is what even happened there? Somehow, Justin Ball ends up with that one, and that's a first down for the Commodores. Now 2nd and 8, Mike Wright under center, but he steps back and fires into coverage. Anthony Rose could have had another interception for this defense, but instead, it's a 3rd and 8 for the Commodores. Mike Wright's going to fire to the left side, and Bodie Jr. is going to drop that one. Now 3rd and 1 for the Gamecocks. We're nearing the final minute in this 3rd quarter with an 11-point lead. You've got to feel confident, but not like a certainty, as Chase Lloyd does a great job there of wrapping up Marshawn Lloyd in the backfield, and they are not going to get the first down as the Commodores get the ball back on a 2nd and 12. Play action. Mike Wright fires to the flats. Man, he got nowhere to go. Robert Brown brought down on the outside. Now the first play of the 4th quarter is going to be a 3rd and 11 for the Commodores. Wright is going to give it to Rocco Griffin on the draw. He's not even close. He's going to get 4, maybe 5 on that one, and the Commodores do not get the first down. So the Gamecocks on 1st and 10 going to go to Landon Sampson, who tries to spin out of a tackle and does so somewhat effectively. He's going to get forward at about 12 yards. 2nd and 5, Doty's going to keep it on the ground to Lloyd. He's got a lead blocker, and he cuts back in the middle. Jalen Nichols, his lead blocker there, the right tackle. And the Gamecocks get into the red zone again. 3rd and 4 for them. Doty wants to go to the end zone, fires to the flats. He's got Jaheim Bell trying to break a bunch of tackles, but he would have had to break about 4 or 5 just to get into the end zone. So they're going to go for it on 4th and 3, all or nothing. Doty to the end zone, dropped by McDowell. He had him open, and it was a good delivery for once by Luke Doty. But Juju McDowell just couldn't make the catch. It almost ended up being intercepted off of the deflection. The Commodores still down by 11. Could have been down by 14. But they're going to be stuck at 11 now as Rocco Griffin's got a 5-yard run. And it's a first down for Vandy. Now 2nd and 11. Right out of the shotgun. Play action. Wants to roll out. And he's got all kinds of space past the 30 to the 40 as he lowers his shoulder. And he's brought down after 23 at about the 39-yard line, maybe the 39 and a half if you want to be specific. But on 2nd and 10, down goes Wright again. He's got a -8. Debo Williams with the sack. And the Commodores now 3rd and 18 as they are trying to get the first down. Oh my goodness, Bodie Jr. is going to be open. Devin Bodie, 30 yards on the post route. As time continues to tick down, the final 3 minutes of this game. 2nd and 13. Mike Wright fires deep downfield, and it's almost intercepted. Should have been picked off by Marcellus Dial. But the Commodores live to see another opportunity. 3rd and 13 for the Commodores. Right. Steps up and he's sacked. Who is that? Tonka Hemingway again with the sack. He has been dominant tonight at getting pressure to the quarterback. And now they face a 4th and 20. He's got a man open, and it's Devin Bodie Jr. again, 30 yards. Diving that time. The Commodores trying their best to just claw back into this one. 2nd and 8. Got it to the flats to Robert Brown. He breaks a tackle, and he bounces back for 5 yards. 3rd and 4 now for Mike Wright. He is going to get sacked again. Oh, this one's Alec Huntley, but this one continues to get out of hand for this Commodores offensive line, and they're going to settle for a field goal on 4th and 17. All 3 timeouts left, so all they need to do is get a stop for the Gamecocks. 2nd and 2. Gamecocks got a chance to seal the deal here, and Marshawn Lloyd does just that with an 8-yard run on the inside zone. Now 1st and 10 on that same drive. Next play, Doty wants to pitch it to Lloyd, who rumbles up the right corner. He is tripped up. The Commodores use their final timeout, and they are going to continue to run this clock out as Doty's got it in the end zone. 8-yard touchdown run on the read option, and the Gamecocks gonna win this one 28-13 as Luke Doty makes his stand there on the final drive of the game for South Carolina. I can't get too excited about this one because it could have been a lot better than this, and the 2 interceptions are really down, or a big downer for this team, as Mike Wright is going to sling a Hail Mary on the final play. It's going to fall harmlessly to the ground, thankfully. Nevertheless, your Gamecocks get another win, get that 5th win in the win column as they take down the Commodores here today. 28-13 is your final. Like I said at the end of the game there, this is just a weird one. We win 28-13, so we win by multiple scores. But it just feels like it was a lot closer than it should have been. We put up 7 points even in every quarter. The offense wasn't going like it should have. It still is struggling to get its footing going. And it's not going to get any easier across the next few weeks. Marshawn Lloyd, MVP of the day without a doubt. I mean, if you look at it, we had 5 less first downs than they did. We had about 22 less yards. No, not 22. About 15 less yards than they did. Rushing-wise, we had way more. Completion attempts-wise, we threw it less than they did. We completed less than they did. We had no passing touchdowns. Passing yards, they blew us out of the water. 3rd down conversion, they blew us out of the water. 4th down conversion, they beat us. Turnover battle, they beat us by 1. Punt return yards, we beat them. Kick return yards. Lavosa Carroll was carrying that special teams. I mean, he was playing amazing. Time of possession, they beat us by 7 minutes. They should have won this game. If it wasn't for that interception at the end of halftime or at the end of the first half, I have no doubt in my brain that we maybe would have been looking at an overtime game. They had all the momentum in the world, and they just, man, they blew it. Rocco Griffin was playing out of his mind. 25 attempts, 117 yards for the Vanderbilt Commodores. Luke Doty, 10 of 20, 146 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. It's time to start looking back at Spencer Rattler, I believe, or at another option on this team. Maybe we look to the future. It's up to you guys. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below on that, because I'm struggling with these quarterbacks and the offense is struggling. Marshawn Lloyd, keep going, man. He's going to get drafted, hopefully. 21 attempts, 150 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Doty added a touchdown on the ground at the end of there, and Juju McDowell had 1 carry, 5 yards, and 1 touchdown. Receiving-wise, Corey Rucker, 3 for 30. Landon Sampson, 3 for 39, and Juice Wells had 1 for 19. Everybody else doesn't even matter. Mo Kaba, 7 tackles. He led the team. He also had 3 tackles for loss. Debo Williams had 2 tackles for loss, one of which was a sack. Nick Eminawari, 1 tackle for loss, 5 tackles, and an interception. Good outing for Nick Eminawari. I'm excited for him to continue to develop. Alex Huntley, 2 sacks. Tonka Hemingway, 2 sacks. Jordan Birch, 2 sacks. I mean, they were just dominating the defensive line, or the offensive line. And honestly, that's the reason we won. Without them playing like that, this team would have, or this offense would have been a lot more productive. And it was a little scary to see how easily they were going to be able, or how easily they were able to move the ball against us when we were trying our hardest without bringing pressure. And thankfully, some of those guys came through. As you can see that we have a couple new commits. I believe Bill Benson is a new athlete commit. I don't think he was committed last time or last episode. I'll have to check back, but I'm going to include him here anyways. He's from St. Andrews, South Carolina, a 3-star athlete. And we also, I think that might be the only new one. Maybe Justin Malone is a guy out of Alabama, a 4-star defensive end that we went after pretty heavily. So we definitely are going to have a lot of depth on the defensive line. I'm going to have to change the positions for a few of these guys, but I'm open to moving them around to defensive tackle, to right end, to left end, all that kind of stuff. That's my main thing. I want to make sure we have depth going forward. And as you can see, we're going after a couple of guys pretty heavily. We want a tight end to replace Jaheim Belt and Trayvon Kenyon. Tyron Monroe out of Kentucky we're going after pretty heavily. Hopefully we'll be able to bring him in. Josh Brown, unfortunately, has us back by about 225 points, and Utah still has a visit coming up. So it's going to be tough. We've got a couple of other guys we're going after pretty heavily. So I'm going to keep you guys up to date on the next couple of weeks as far as recruiting goes, or in the next couple of episodes. But hopefully we can make some ground on those guys, or at least get them into the offseason where we can actually give them a ton of points to offer them. And around the top 25 polls, let's see what the BCS has got going on now. Should be the second or third week of the BCS. Miami number 1, Alabama 2, Washington 3, Ohio State 4, Georgia at 5, and then the rest will go through Utah, Baylor, Florida, Texas, Syracuse. UAB makes their way to the top 11. They are number 11 right now. Notre Dame 12. UNLV 13, Kansas, Michigan at the 15th, and to round out the last 10, we have Oregon State falling all the way to 16th. They got shut out by the Arizona State Sun Devils. East Carolina finally took their first loss of the season. They got dominated by Louisiana Tech as they fall from number 5 to 17. Penn State at 18. Arizona State jumps into number 19. Then we have Michigan State at 20. Wisconsin, TCU, North Carolina, NC State, and Texas A&M. North Carolina fell about, 7 spots or 8 spots after their loss in the rivalry game to the now 24th ranked NC State Wolfpack. That was a big loss for the Tar Heels there, who we lost to earlier in the season, and unfortunately they have kind of fallen off the face of the planet since then. Right now we still sit at number 3 in the eastern side of this conference. No chance whatsoever really to make the SEC championship game. That sailed a while ago. But I'm still just praying for an upset. Hopefully we can do something to get that second spot again, which is where we were at last year. And it's going to be interesting to watch going forward. As far as the Heisman contenders go, Tyler Buckner out of Notre Dame, the sophomore quarterback, is still number 1. He has stayed strong there for a while now. And to round that out, I'm going to give you guys a preview of next week. We're taking on the 9th-ranked Florida Gators. Gators are 7-2, 5-2 over, or 5-2 in conference play. They've had a very good season, as you can see. I mean, they've played some good teams. They've lost to Texas A&M, but lost to Georgia. Every other team, they've taken care of business. They have beat every team that they should beat. Lost to Texas A&M, maybe they should have beat them. And lost to Georgia, which would have been a tough game for any team. And we have to take them on. It's not going to be easy. I'm not excited to do it. As you can see, Anthony Richardson is having himself one crazy season. 18 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, almost 2,000 yards. He is having a good season. On the ground, they've got a 1,200-yard running back, 600-yard receiver with 6 touchdowns. I mean, they have had a great season so far. Unfortunately for them, Georgia's just been better. But it's going to be a tough matchup no matter what. If you look at the standings, they have a better overall rating. They're better, or tied offensive rating, a better defensive rating. As far as points per game goes, they've got us beat. The only thing we've got them beat in is the rushing defense. And that is because we're number 7th. They're not bad either. They're number 19. But turnover differential, we are still almost. Last week we were dead last. This week we moved up by 1. They are positive by 3. So we have got to limit the turnovers if we want a chance to win. And there's going to be a battle in practice this week. Going into this week, Luke Doty is not guaranteed to be the starter. Looking at the production of these guys, Spencer Rattler and Luke Doty just haven't played well. Braden Davis and Colton Gautier and Julius Canary all deserve the opportunity to play, in my opinion, if they are going to be able. If we're going to have bad quarterbacks out there, we might as well develop our young guys. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens or who trots out there for the Gamecocks, but expect a little bit of discussion before next week, and I'm going to set out a poll probably about halfway between episodes and see how you guys are feeling about who the quarterback should be going into next week's game, whether we should stick with Doty, whether we should go back to Rattler, or whether we should go with one of the younger guys and see what they have to offer. So I would love if you guys comment down below for that. Like I said, I will post a poll if you're interested in that type of stuff. And as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you for coming back to this series after a little bit of a break, about a 2-week break. But I'm back, and I just want to thank you guys. And if you do enjoy, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload of this series as we round out Season 2 here with the final, 3 games left. It's going to be an exciting end to the season. I can already feel it. Thank you all for joining me for this one. I will talk to you guys next time.